Big win, Coach.
It was a big one. It feels good. It feels good to be 5-0.
You know, I look at that scoreboard, and it looks like you dominated on both sides in all phases of the game, offensively, defensively, and special teams, all phases. What can you say about that?
Well, as a coaching staff, sometimes we expect more from our team. And we kind of came out, and my worry was we start slow. And I don't know that we really, as much we started slow, as much as they slowed the game down. And because every time we had the ball, we did what we wanted to do. But what you talk about offensive game, we've really put emphasis on it. And as a coach staff, we've talked about this year about we got to be better special teams. We got too many cats and dogs out there that we got some dogs that can take it to the house and play the game, and we got to be better there. And Clark Rick Rogue, I don't know what people are thinking, but keep kicking it to them because it's helping us out. All right. I mean, I don't know what they're doing, but Cam had a heck of a punt return, and then come out of half, they kick it to Clark. I mean, what do you say? Hey, when you got guys that can play, you got guys that can play.
Now, when we first saw you guys at the beginning of the season, the first game, it looked like you've made quite a bit of improvement. Talk a little bit about the progression of this team.
Well, every week you should get better. And I really feel like the first week, I mean, I talked, even though we were down 19-7, I was never worried. Because truthfully, if you really if you look at the game, and we dominated. We just gave them, and that's been our MO, is we've given people what they've earned, what they haven't earned. And we've kind of, last week we went out there and sputtered a little bit against E-Town, but when we turned it on, we turned it on. And we put up, it was 50-14 on third quarter, and this week kind of the same thing. We kind of just came out a little slow, but once we got a fair hit that, we're hard to stop. But every week, our model is 1-0, and that's every day. We talk about winning Monday and winning Tuesday and winning Wednesday and winning Thursday, and that'll equal a win on Friday. So that's not, I know it's cliche, but that's really truthfully what these guys need. Because if we get caught up in everything else, we'll lose focus and won't be nowhere. So I'm proud of how they've handled everything and went 1-0 every day, and that's the best way I can put it.
I got to extend it a little bit. You're now 5-0.
Yes.
I don't know how often Hart County has been in this position at this point in the season, but it does feel as though you guys are on a different level.
If you had talked to me 3 weeks ago, after the LaRue County game, I was pretty upset with us, and we got a big game against Greene County, and I really feel like the whole Greene County game was kind of a smoke and mirror type thing. I never really felt like we were down or we were up. I mean, we were getting close. I always felt like we was up 14 points. But the way the season's going, man, we're starting, when we came out and hit that second quarter against E-Town and put up 35 points on them, you can really see it start to click. And my guys, and when we were watching film, the kids were like, Coach, we're going to start breaking it down on defense because what they've bought into is running to the ball, and actually saw them do it a couple times tonight. There was 11 halves to the ball, and they broke it down there on the thing. And that's something we've preached, and I don't know that we're on a different level, but we're on our level. And teams got to raise their game to us. And that's been a long time since we can say that about Hart County. Is, we got to keep doing what we do and make everybody else match what we do.
Now I'm up in those stands, and I see that the crowd is very excited, very into this game. What can you say about what the fans have?
And I can't say enough about our community. And really, truthfully, they've been behind us pretty much since I've been here. But you can see, I mean, you've been here, and LaRue and Greene County was I don't know, one of the best atmospheres of football I've been around a long time. We went to E-Town last week, and the AD from E-Town called me and said, "Hey, Coach, man, you guys brought a crowd." And the good thing is, and I say this about this, Tony, and listen to what I said. I'm not knocking any other sport, but nothing brings the community back together than Friday nights. Okay, you play basketball 2 or 3 times a week. You play baseball 2 or 3 times a week, and we want to excel in everything. But Friday nights, there's just something different. There's something there.
Now I hate to look forward to next week because this is such a good win for you guys. But what kind of adjustments do you make?
We do us. And you know what? And I'm not saying that because we're going to play Caverna and Coach Hayes and all that. I'm saying that because that's our motto. And when I walked in the film room on Sunday, that's what I told my coaches. And when I walked in the film room on Monday, that's what I told my players. We're just going to keep doing us. And as long as we do that, because listen, if I get caught up in everything that Caverna's going to do or what Glasgow's going to do or what Greene County's doing, my kids will lose focus because we're not used to doing this. So it's not going to change. No, we're not changing anything we do this week. Just go 1-0. And that's, I know it's cliche, but if you go 1-0 at the end of the season, that adds up.
I actually like that a lot. I like that philosophy. My last question is, what have you given your guys to be able to handle the pressure of coming out every week ranked and coming out every week and producing results?
Do you want to know? Do you want to know? I just want to basically work on us. Be us. Don't worry about anything else. You know, we started. I was in there in my office, and they didn't know I was in there, and I heard a couple kids talking like, "Well, we don't care about the rankings," but they were talking about them. I'm like, how do we beat E-Town? We put 50 piece on E-Town, and we drop in the rankings. Well, one, we don't have no. I mean, I appreciate everything you guys do, but there's no voting members in this area. So, but I opened the door and I said, guys, you're losing the whole side of it. I don't care if we're 15th. We're still 4-0. We're gonna be 5-0. We just gotta worry about what we do. Don't worry about anybody else right now, because the only thing we have to worry about is what's inside that locker room, what's inside this huddle. And if we can keep that, Tony, I'm telling you, it's gonna be a special. It's been a special season. It's gonna continue to be a special season.